When I found out that Aria died in like the second episode, I was...
What? Are you kidding me? That's a spoiler.
Is this live?
No.
We can edit that out.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, totally.
They're still going to tweet about it.
No, don't worry about it. Are you serious? It's fine.
I'm really sorry.
No, don't worry about it. No, it's fine.
Okay.
We can edit it, right?
From celebrities going crazy to making remarks that they really shouldn't have, let me show you the 6 dumbest celebrity moments.
Do you want to win any of these items on your screen? If so, be sure to watch the whole video, leave a like, and comment the hidden message. And with that being said, let's get right into the video.
Justin Bieber, believing in the fever.
Latest for Justin Bieber, he's free on bail after that arrest for drag racing drunk, the most serious scandal yet.
Come on, admit it. Even if it wasn't Justin Bieber specifically, you once upon a time fell for someone in a boy band or a girl band or whatever singing act that they did and felt that they could do no wrong. And then they did wrong, and you're like, why did I like them again? That's the effect that many people had when it comes to the Justin Bieber. Now, sure, when he was just a young boy, charming people with his music and dance moves, which even Usher liked, it was hard not to appreciate him on some level. But then he just got a little too big for his britches, as it were, and people started to see that Bieber wasn't quite as nice or stable as we were led to believe via the boy on stage. So much so that he started dealing with substance abuse issues, had to go to rehab a time or two, and his antics both on stage and off were getting a little, or a lot, out of hand, including getting arrested once or twice and assaulting people like fans and paparazzi. It's true that Justin Bieber isn't out of the music industry, far from it, but he has had to take a step back and take stock of his life. And you almost have to wonder what would have happened if he stayed calm and humble and let the fever continue across the world. Gary Busey, not observing the rules of the road.
Because I didn't know what happened to my brain after I had the motorcycle accident December 4th, 1988. And Dr. Heyman told me, your skull is here and it doesn't move, but the brain goes whack, 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 whack inside of it.
A dumb decision can be one that's planned out or happens naturally. Some are even split-second decisions where you decide to roll the dice versus playing it safe. When it comes to the one and only Gary Busey, there's no denying that this is exactly what he did, and it cost him a lot. You see, he made a choice to not wear a helmet while riding his motorcycle. Something that is very much frowned upon, especially in this day and age. During this particular motorcycle ride without a helmet, he got into an accident at a relatively high speed, which resulted in him hitting his head and having brain damage. How bad was it? The doctors themselves noted that Busey's condition was severe, and though he did survive, his personality was never the same. The man went from a major action star to a joke. I do mean that in a literal sense. His own insanity is the only thing that's keeping him afloat. And even then, he's basically a cameo star or a person who goes and attends roasts and everyone makes fun of him. He takes it because he honestly doesn't know better. It's impossible to know, of course, whether he would have ever been an A-list Hollywood star without the accident, but it's never been more clear how that simple choice ruined what could have been a much more lucrative and deep career instead of being the butt of the joke. Remember, kids, always wear a helmet. Roseanne Barr, not knowing when to shut up.
So I went to bed and I woke up at 2:11 and tweeted that tweet. And then I went back to sleep. And when I woke up in the morning, it was all over.
What's a quick way to end your career? How about saying a racial slur on a public platform and not being sorry about it? Yeah, that's what Roseanne Barr did. Not that she regrets it, even after it torpedoed her resurgent career. The show Roseanne was much more than just another sitcom. For unlike the perfect family shows of the 80s and 90s, Roseanne proudly showed off just how a real working-class family was. They all had true flaws, troubles with their jobs, bitter attitudes, and more. The show was a hit in every sense of the word. Even when it ended somewhat oddly, the show itself was still beloved. Even though Roseanne herself was a bit controversial, let's just say. Then, in 2018, the show returned and was a massive hit once again. They basically erased the previous last season of the show and the series finale where John Goodman's character was confirmed to be dead and started back at what made everything fun. It worked, and then it was renewed near instantly. Everything was aces for Roseanne. That is, until Roseanne decided to go onto Twitter one day and posted a very racist remark of a US Senate advisor who was both Iranian and African. Needless to say, it didn't go over well. Certain people who were on the Roseanne show openly quit because of this remark, as they didn't want to work with Barr anymore. Not a good sign. ABC found themselves in a difficult situation, but when push came to shove, they did the right thing, canceling the show, firing Barr, and then rebooting the show again in the form of The Conners. Barr was furious about the firing and the lack of support from her co-stars. Due to this remark, Barr more than likely won't be on TV or movies ever again. Tiger Woods, the king of infidelity.
Jamie does not deny the fact her affair with Woods went on for nearly 3 years, and she told Us Weekly she slept with him at least 20 times.
When you think about some of the greatest athletes of all time, of all sports, your mind will no doubt go to Tiger Woods eventually. He was a golf prodigy who seemed destined to break Jack Nicklaus's record for most major wins in the sport. And for many years, he slowly but surely climbed up to break that streak. The iconic images that Woods made over the prime of his career still resound to this day. And the sight of him in a red shirt and black hat and pants on a Sunday at a key golf game is what many consider to be the game on look. He was golf. He was the reason that gold was popular again after so many years. And just as quickly as it seemed the crescendo was coming, he fell hard. Tiger had it all, but he felt he needed more. So he decided to cheat on his wife with several women. This resulted in an argument that ended up in a car accident that slowly revealed everything that Tiger had done, and it wasn't pretty. What was once one of the brightest stars was now a meteor crashing down to Earth. The impact is still felt to this day in many ways. He would lose pretty much every single sponsor he had, his public image would be tarnished, and it still is to this day in regards to the sponsors and how people see him at times. What's worse, this came during a time when Tiger was dealing with health issues that hindered his golf game. For basically a decade, Tiger wasn't the man he was supposed to be, both on and off the course. Now, if we're being objective, Tiger has bounced back in many ways. He made peace with everything that he did, even if the world hadn't made peace with him. And he's actually done really well in golf recently, including winning the 2019 Masters and certain other tournaments, proving that he's still one of the best in the game at golf. But his decision to cheat on his wife will forever make him tarnished in many people's eyes. Though to be fair, he's not the only modern athlete with a blemish. Lance Armstrong, the king of cheaters.
The global governing body of cycling has just announced moments ago it will ban Armstrong for life and strip him of his 7 tour titles.
Cheating in sports is reviled. Yet, over the many decades, people have found all manner of ways to get cheating done. From rigging equipment, to faking injuries, to not playing up to snuff. Whatever it takes, athletes do it at times. Doing something like winning a championship or a sports event by cheating is terrible, and no one did this more egregiously than Lance Armstrong. Lance Armstrong was the most famous athlete in the world, depending on who you talk to. Yes, even more than Tiger Woods at points. He won a record number of Tour de France's and was the premier athlete because of how he kept his body in shape. He also legit beat cancer and raised millions of dollars for cancer research. Because of his actions, because of his belief in life, because he knew that you could beat anything if you put your mind to it, people loved him. He was an inspiration throughout the world, and he was loved for it. Then someone accused him of cheating, of doping himself to enhance his performance, and that's when everything spiraled. And to be fair, there are many athletes out there who get accused of a variety of things, and many times they're scams. So when this particular one came out, no one really believed it. Armstrong happened to have claimed for years that he was clean, even personally calling people at ESPN to let them know that this all wasn't true. And people believed him until another report came out definitively proving that he was indeed a fraud. He had used the substance during every single one of his Tour de France victories. When this report was verified, everything came crashing down. He lost everything, every single sponsor he had. Even the people running the Lance Armstrong Foundation dropped him because they knew his stain would ruin any chance for future donations. His personal life crumbled. All the lies he made caused his friends to leave him, and so much more. Where's Lance Armstrong now? That's a bit complicated because on one hand, he is still in the public spotlight with things like a podcast and him slightly owning up to what he did, but he also says that he doesn't regret what he did. He regrets how he handled it at times, the colossal meltdown that he went through, but not the act of doping itself. In fact, you could argue that he's in denial and desperate to try to get back into the spotlight, even though that'll never happen like he thinks it will. Charlie Sheen, the king of winning.
Yeah, I was actually disappointed because I thought, I think the mistakes I made is that people misinterpret my passion for anger.
The fall of Charlie Sheen is a cautionary tale when you take things so far that they can hurt you for many years to come. And many of his choices can be seen as something that took seconds to do, as you'll see. Sheen is part of a very famous family, and much like his father Martin Sheen, his brother Emilio Estevez, and others, he went into being an actor. As he made his way into the business, he did films like Platoon, Wall Street, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and more. Like many celebrities before and after him, he had some rises and falls in terms of his roles. But then he scored the biggest hit yet on the show 2.5 Men on CBS. The show was the biggest comedy on the air, and Sheen was elevated to A-list status. His comedy chops were amazing, and his womanizing, piano-playing singer role made everyone roll over in their couches. It was a hit, and CBS did everything they could to keep the show going, keep the stars on, and make Sheen as rich as possible so he would keep doing the role. Sadly, though, he started to struggle with substance abuse. Even though the studio worked hard to get him clean, Sheen refused to get better, and eventually he went on the infamous Tiger Blood rant, and that got him kicked off the show. Despite all this, Sheen was still hot on the market, so he got a show called Anger Management on FX. But that show was also short-lived because of Sheen, who again made bad choices in seconds, like lashing out at co-stars that made the work impossible to do. And though he claims he's sober now and has a, quote, clear head, the damage has been done, and no one really wants to work with him anymore. It's one thing to be from a famous family or have legendary shows you're on, but when you start treating everyone like dirt, that's when you don't get anything. And if you look at Charlie Sheen now, he's nowhere near where he was during his days on 2.5 Men. So what do you think? What do you think of these celebrities that did some really dumb things and ended up hurting themselves, their careers, and more? Which of them do you think hurt themselves the most? Hurt themselves the least? Do you know another celebrity that should be on this list? Let me know in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.
A simple reminder on how to enter our brand new giveaway. We will be giving away either an iPhone X Max, the new iPad mini, or a MacBook Pro. It's really your choice. So be sure to leave a like, comment the keyword, subscribe, and turn on notifications to enter the giveaway. It's really that simple. Go for it.